Hi, I'm Ellen with blackfilm.com, and I'm chatting with Kelley and Angelique Molina, co-directors of the upcoming film, I'm Fine, Thanks for Asking. Hi, ladies.
Hey, hey, Ellen.
So not only did you both co-direct, my God, you guys are wearing several hats. You're also producers, writers. Kelley, you're one of the EPs along with Dion Cole. It brings me so much joy to know that just women are just wearing all types of hats and making things happen. It's inspiring.
Yeah, and this film is predominantly women of
Right.
color.
That's right.
Yeah,
Let's not forget
yeah.
that. Let's not forget that. And also, I feel like a congrats is in order on the film being one of the first selects for the South by Southwest Film Festival. That's huge.
Thank you. We're really, really excited about that, truly. And like we've always wanted to go to South by, and it's an amazing festival. So we're excited to have our premiere there.
And I understand it was selected just based on the trailer?
No,
Close.
darn near, right? Might as well.
So we actually did it based on our picture lock. So we sent it. We didn't have visual effects. We hardly had any music. It was very minimal. So it's based off of that, but not the trailer. But even though the trailer is great.
I mean, because I was going to say, wow, that's saying.
Yeah. If we pulled that off, that would be the story. That's what we'd be talking about.
Right.
All we need was our trailer.
You know.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, though, Kelley. We'll just tell that from now.
Yeah, we got in just based on our trailer. I mean, how'd you get in? You got you showed your whole movie. I see.
Right.
But at least, for them to say, hey, like this is like good enough to be a part of this. I feel like a trailer could be that bomb that they'll say that. Or no. Like, oh, okay.
Well, we're gonna work towards that goal. That one day we make something so good the trailer gets us into like South by.
Thank you for that chuckle. I love, like you said before we went live, Kelley, I love that this is a female-driven feature film with such an important and relevant message about houselessness. How did the idea for the storyline come about, Kelley? And then Angelique, how did you come into that fold?
Mm-hmm.
So so during the pandemic, obviously especially in the film industry, there was no work. There was nothing going on. Right. And so at the very beginning, like, where do I start with this? We weren't able to pay rent for several months at the very beginning because we lost work. And then eventually we were able to again. But at that point, I had this overwhelming feeling that we got to make something. I got to make something now. And so I called my closest people. I called my girls from University of Southern California, Angelique, Molina, Roma Kong. I called Dion, my writing partner and producing partner, Dion Cole. And I said, look, we got to make something. And so when we got together, I told them I have a stimulus check. And maybe we could do something with this. And they were just as crazy as I was, so they were down. When we started talking about concepts and ideas, I know for all of us, we're very socially conscious filmmakers. Like even if you look at Angelique's work, a lot of her work, one of her main focuses is on gentrification in people of color's communities. She has a great film called There Goes the Neighborhood on about gentrification of View Park. And so we've always been wanting to reflect what's going on around us. And I know that I had that scare with not paying rent for several months. And if it wasn't for that moratorium, who knows where I would be? I'd be on a couch, in a car, hopefully not in a tent. Hopefully Angelique would take me in or something like that.
I would hope. But a lot of people are not in that position, right? We talk about we joke oh yeah, I would take you in, my friend. You would never be in that position. But a lot of people are in that position, and that's what's frightening because some people don't have family that are close to them or friends that can, or even people who want to help but are simply not in the position to help. So that was something that we kind of went with as we started writing. To answer your question, that it kind of just continued that way because a lot of people are just trying to survive in whatever capacity, So I think that was how we kind of just ran with that from there. Of course, we were crazy enough to be like, yeah, you know, me, Kelley, Roma, we all went to school together. So we talked about working together all the time. And like Kelley said, she just woke up one day and was like, let's just do it. And started off with like, oh, let's make a short film. Okay, sure, cool, sounds fun. Actually, just kidding. Like a couple hours
back.
later, yeah, like you have a second. Let's talk again. Okay, let's make a feature. Okay.
Because I said, look, we're masters of shorts. We know how to do shorts. We do them inside and out. What we have not done yet is a feature. So look, y'all, if we're gonna take a risk on someone's money, let it be mine. And let's start off that way.
She was like, we're gonna use my money anyways, so let's do a feature.
And then thank God our other producer, Capella Fahum, who's been like the glue, she came in and like really is the one who helped make this movie keep going and keep the momentum. It's kind of like the situation of like, if you build it, they will come, because her and Dion and all the support that we got is really, it's been a massive team effort, you know, and of course our entire team who's just volunteered their time, which is predominantly all USC. I think we only have, we have one UCLA who's our production designer and one Columbia who's our production sound.
James was Chapman, I think.
And James, our AC, was Chapman. So we had some support from the outside universities. It was predominantly a Trojan effort.
It sounds like it. That's amazing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Angelique.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, speaking of our crew was our cast. So because of fear of COVID, because of a lot of things, because of budget, because, you know, every single person that was on set was on camera. Every single person.
Even our editors. We made them.
Everybody.
We made them. Everybody.
Wow.
Except for Color he didn't make it. Color didn't make it. But other than that.
He's in there with our hearts, yes. But production was harder.
Yeah.
This was a true labor of love from the inside out.
Yeah, it really is. I always say this movie was made with friendship and a stimulus check.
I love that. It's a great tagline. And that's what's so amazing about making movies based on what's going on in our world. It's relatable, right? Yeah. I saw the trailer and I was immediately affected. I'm not a mom, but I instantly understood, like, if I was, I can't even imagine what I would have to tell my young child. Like, how would I even survive this? And a lot of us are so close to that point.
Yeah.
And other people don't know this. And so I feel like this film, and I haven't even watched it yet, I feel like this film will speak to so many different demographics of people. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's what we wanted. We want this to be universal. This isn't, this is a human story. This is, obviously this takes place in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, but it's reflective of what everyone's going through everywhere, not just in the US, but worldwide. We're all that, just like one thing away from being in a dire situation, or maybe in that dire situation already.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no, you know, we talked about like somebody around you will save you, right? Somebody around you will house you. Then obviously that's not the experience for everybody. But, you know, personally, like, you know what it is to feel paycheck to paycheck, or just trying to hustle to the next move, to the next movie, to just get it done. But that feeling, right, of trying to survive. And even though it's no comparison to someone who's actually out in the streets or in a tent with their daughter, no comparison. But it's that feeling that a lot of people are feeling right now, and have been feeling even before this pandemic, of just trying to survive and get by and eventually thrive, right? Like, beyond just putting a meal on the table and a roof over your head, you know, having more opportunity beyond that. And that's, you know, yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah, thriving being the operative word.
Yeah.
How did Dion Cole come into this? How did all that come together?
Partner.
Yeah, Dion's my writing partner. And so we met back, so we were talking about Lalo's House earlier, right? So my short film that got a lot of buzz, and it got me an opportunity at Netflix to be in their first like director's incubator program. And so Dion and I met on set. We started chopping it up about story. and he had this story and he was pitching it to me, and I was like, oh man, yeah. But see, if the character's arc, are you doing a flat arc or are you doing a positive change arc? Like, what are you? So like we started like jiving on what type of like story this should be, and then he's like, yo, let's write something. And I was like, I'm down, we're both in LA, let's do it. And then we've been doing it ever since, and we've got projects that are finished, scripts that are finished, that are going out and all that. So then when this came around, it was only natural to involve Dion, because and plus he's like real supportive of what we were trying to do, and he really loved the story, and so he came on board and is being a beacon of light for us.
And so I couldn't tell from the trailer whether he was a good character or a bad character. Like when he pulled up with the money in the car, and I'm like, okay, what's about to happen here?
It's something we can't say, huh, Angelique?
No, but you have to watch that one for sure.
Yeah, he's a mystery.
Right. I tried to get it out of him yesterday, and I got nothing.
Yeah, that character is a mystery. That character is talked about throughout the movie, but we don't, you know.
Gotcha. All right, I'll leave that alone.
But he did a great job. And
he did great.
For sure.
Man, he came in and blessed us like with that. It's a fun, when Dion comes on, it's so much fun. I know the audience is gonna love it.
You're just standing like, why? What does he say? What? On set, we were just like trying not to laugh.
I was like, Lord, please. The stuff that he was throwing out, like, and when the camera was on me, it's like, you'll see me sometimes, I'm biting my lip. I'm like, I'm supposed to be mad.
Like, but why?
But the stuff he's saying was just like,
oh, I could imagine. I bet. But.
Yeah, he did a great job with that character. I mean,
seasoned comedian, obviously, and obviously used to being on camera with Blackish and Grownish and every.
Sure is, right.
Yeah, and also like he uses his comedy for activism. Because if you see the work that he does, he, or at least even in his comedy, even when he's like, he does these little side notes of inspiration. Have you seen his stand up Cold-Blooded? Like he it's almost like a seminar, like a TED talk in the middle of it, because he cares.
I saw the one on Netflix. I forget what it's.
Oh,
but
yeah, working it out.
Right.
That one, he does have a few moments of inspiration, but that one's just a little more raw. That's him actually working it out. You're seeing him actually seeing what jokes work and what don't, That's but right. if you see his Netflix special, is that what you were just saying, or did you say no? I was thinking of the YouTube. YouTube is working it out. Netflix is the Cold-Blooded. Or Cold-Hearted, sorry, Cold-Hearted.
Okay. All right, so I think I need to watch it on YouTube, not Netflix, then, because I've seen the one on Netflix. Yeah, okay. Working it out on YouTube is raw.
Got it. It's as pure as it gets. It's footage that wasn't supposed to be seen. It was just practice footage.
Okay.
It's when jokes work and when they don't.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So other thing I was curious about, like, how do you shoot a movie based on COVID during COVID? Like, what sort of things and craziness and mayhem did you have to go through to accomplish this?
Testing. We were very concerned about it. Oh, did we lose Kelley?
We lost her, but she'll be back.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
She's back. Yeah, so we definitely were really concerned about it. We had COVID testing, people were isolating. We were pretty much because we were on set for so long, we were in our own bubble, so everybody went home and never went anywhere else for those days. Okay. Yeah, I think part of that was having the cast be the crew as well. So we had a limited amount of people that were exposed to each other. We didn't bring outsiders in. It was just like the cast was the cast, the crew was the crew. Or vice versa. So yeah, we got testing. We did all that, just all the precautions to just be safe, really. Masks, of course, at all times.
The one thing I love that Angelique and Roma did was they got, well, Angelique went and bought the stuff, but Roma, our producer, is like, she's like, she's on it when it comes to like safety.
Which was so great.
Right? So Angelique went and got these tote bags, and then they like filled it with
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer, but different things like alcohol spray in case you need to spray your equipment, and then hand sanitizer so that you can moisturize. And we had, and all your crafties, so that everyone had their own individual crafty bag, and so that you didn't have to go and touch all over it, and you know, it's not on a table and everyone's like touching and stuff. So when you ran out of your own crafty, you came back to us and we refilled your bag. So just like those little precautions, like that's something that Angelique and Roma brought to it, that when I came on set and I saw the bags, I was like, y'all genius. You guys are just genius.
Yeah, that bag situation actually worked out because
worked out great.
Especially because we were always in a rush. You know, everything was like, we got to get to the next set. We got to beat the sun. We got to just keep going. It worked out that we never had to set up a table with food because everybody had their own bag and everybody had their own water. It was just like, keep it pushing, grab your bag, let's go. We got to go to the next set.
Yep.
Genius indeed. And how long did it take to film?
2 weeks. Really 10 days plus a couple of extra pickups. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went fast.
I was going to say a month or 2 or 3. You made that accomplishment in 2 weeks.
Girl.
Well, Kelley, when she called us, she's like, okay, look, we're doing this, but let's do this so that we can make the major film festival deadlines. And that was immediately. That was happening the next month. So we're like, okay, we have 2 weeks to film and we have 2 weeks to edit. And then we got an extension with one of the deadlines, and we got another 2 weeks to edit. Like, so it was really just.
It was from the moment I came to them. They're like, can we write how are we going to write a script? And I was like, look, I'm thinking that we Tangerine this, we Sean Baker this. So like, and then also like, cause that's all like outlined in improv. And also I was thinking about my friend Qasim Basir and Samantha Tanner, who did A Boy, Girl, A Dream that was at Sundance last year with Omari Hardwick and Megan Good. And they outlined it. I saw from the start what they did. They had an outline and then they let the actors go. And I'm like, we can do that. So then we outlined this in 2 weeks, girl, 2. And then we were picture up 2 weeks from inception of idea and, or conception. And then straight to picture up. And then after that, we shot. Yeah, it's like a total of 2 weeks roughly. And we were sun chasers. So the team had to be so chill and down.
Our team, there's no words for our team.
We were up at 5 a.m. Well, we were up earlier than that. So we had to be on set by like 5:30. And then we had to catch the sun. And then once the sun got to about 11 o'clock, we had to stop. And then everyone like went home and we like took a break for a long time. And then we came back around 4, and then we chased the sun then too. So we couldn't afford lights, we couldn't afford any other equipment. All we had was natural sun, and we chased it wherever it went, and that's in a bounce. And we're like, get over there, no, to the left, all right, let's go.
Which gives so much credit to Becky and her camera crew. Man, yeah. And you know, Mai for helping us start it all with her, and like
yeah. Our team is just great.
Miracle workers.
I'm in awe. So is it safe to assume that the majority of the film is shot outside?
Yes.
Most of it.
98.3%.
Also a COVID concern, right? Like we were like, when we were writing the outline, we were like, okay, most of this has to be outside. We have to avoid being inside at all costs. And so we had a couple of scenes where we had to be inside, but they were usually bigger areas with limited amount of people that were there. We obviously stayed masked up. But that was also a concern when we were writing. We were like, okay, how do we have this person be outside? You know, well, she's on skates. That's how she's getting around. We just have to go from place to place.
And but that made it really hard for sound because we were in Pacoima, California. And if anyone knows about Pacoima's loud, dude. Wow. It's like it's sirens, it's people not shouting at each other, they're just having loud conversations. It's just and like there's dogs barking and there's this and that. And so our poor sound guy Brian, he was like, why do we have to shoot it here?
And we kept going back to the noisiest location every time.
The noisiest. There were these birds that just the birds were driving our sound guy crazy. And it's these large flocks of blackbirds that just lived where we were shooting. I mean, Ellen, massive flock of blackbirds, but they made the film. You're going to see them because they're beautiful. But like, we're going to use you birds if you won't be here. So it was hard. shooting outside for the majority of the movie for sound, but our sound mixer, Derek, and our sound production sound, Brian, and Jalen, who's assistant, they really worked that out, boy. You would never realize we struggled so much.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at the trailer and I'm just like, wow, this is major budget. This is like,
that's good. Thank you.
This is everything.
So major budget.
I can't wait to see the movie, knowing now what I know. I think it's a whole newfound level of appreciation for it.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to that. So, Kelley, your character, Danny, right? You're the main, and you're a mom, you know, faced with houselessness and faced with now this harsh reality with your child. What were some of those emotional challenges playing that? Because that's heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what made it easier for me was my co-star Wesley, the little girl. Whenever it was a Wesley day, I was so happy because we were dealing with a heavy subject matter and I had to be in that state of mind. But Wesley was always ready and she was always prepared and she was always supportive. She's like a little adult. She's like, you got this, Kelley. She's like, you want to run lines? You want to
She's telling you that.
Right. Yeah, thank you, baby. Like she was just phenomenal and she just made it easier. And on top of that, she's a family friend's daughter. So ever since, because remember we had to keep it in the bubble. We couldn't like just be casting someone's random kid that we don't know and exposing them to. So her mom, who's my friend, was on set and you know watching her and everything. And so it made it easier for me because I knew her, and also it wasn't hard to feel protective of her. And so in these scenes, when these things were happening and I'm trying to protect her, I didn't really have to pretend much because I am protective of Wesley. So I think that there was that luxury of having people around you on the set that you really trust and you really love. And so you can really get to those levels and that depth that the character is feeling because you have that comfortability.
Nice. Wow. Okay. And so there was another element in this film that I was pleasantly and just so happy to see: skating. Right. I feel like skating is this lost sport that's making a comeback. And I'm in the process of buying skates so I can return.
We'll talk about that.
Whatever you need, we'll tell you.
No, that's good to know because I'm lost. I'm so lost.
Oh, we'll help you. Trust.
Kelley used to drag us out, so I never wanted to buy skates because I was like, these are mad expensive, and I don't have, I'm not going into the, whatever. So we grew up with, she had a skating rink where she lived. I grew up with World on Wheels. We would go there recently, not like when we were kids.
I would drag Angelique out all the time
because I was the only one that was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we would go skating, and when everything shut down and everybody the surge of skating came back up, Kelley was like, oh, we should have this be her form of transportation. This is where she's going. This is how she's getting around, because we can't write, oh, she gets on the bus, or oh, she gets, you know what I mean? We're not.
We can't get her on a bus. It's COVID. We can't do these things. So
it was really about practicality and being able. Of course, Kelley loves to skate. We all love to skate, and that was just a part of our lives in general. And obviously part of the pandemic life too for a lot of people. But it was also about practicality and, having to adjust to what we had access to.
Yeah. And we had skates.
And it was fun.
I skate outside all the time too. We had to, in the opening credits, I'm bombing this hill. You can't really see how steep the hill is, but let me tell you, the kids in the area call it Devil's Hill for a reason.
Okay. Say no more.
In the opening credits, you'll see in this drone shot of me going down this road, but it's a very steep hill. And Angelique was about to. She's never prayed. She got so close to Jesus. She's already close, but I had her because Danny's character listens to music to Woo in the Clouds, who's also a friend from USC, and so we cheated it, and we're like, okay, since Danny's always listening to music, let's put the headphones in, and I actually have Angelique in my ear, and then our other co-producer, Julia, watching the road down the hill to make sure no car jumps out of nowhere, and then Angelique watching my back. So, Angelique, you tell the story when it started. She was freaking out.
It was so frightening because all I could hear, so you just hear, we're on the phone with her, and she's like, okay, I'm ready to go. Everybody's ready. Okay, action. All you hear is this rumbling and wind and noise, and I'm like, please don't die. Like, please survive. Don't break a bone.
And when we were driving up, Angelique was driving so slow. She's like, okay, oh,
there's a bump
right here. You better know, right here. See this mark? There's a bump. Okay, there's another one. You see this? You know where they are. You get over these bumps, and I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. But I was thinking in my head, if I do fall, how can we write this into the story? You know, like the bruises and the scrapes and all.
Of course.
Because we weren't gonna stop Ellen. If I fell and I got all scraped up, it was going into the movie.
And so I just love that skates is the main mode of transportation for this. That's just so symbolic on so many levels. Because you could have used a bike, you could have used a skateboard.
True, we had a bike. Yep.
So skates it's kind of cool that you use skates. So where are you now with this project in terms of final cut and all that good stuff? Angelique, I guess we can start with you.
So yeah, we are literally wrapping up everything right now, which should be done this weekend. We've been wrapped with picture lock and everything. It's just getting final touches. Credits were always changing, sound mix, everything. So by this weekend, really, we will be done and hopefully be able to send out screeners and premiere at South by Southwest.
Yeah, in competition.
Competition.
Yeah, it's been interesting because this is our first time, and I'm sure first time for pretty much everyone, having to like mix and color and edit remotely. Like there's like our sound mix, he's in Kentucky. He's USC as well, but he's in Kentucky. And we had to he used platform. What was the platform called, Angelique?
He's so mad. He's
like as many times as we logged in. So I'm not even gonna try. So anyway, we had to there was a 10-second delay. We had to, but it's still we got it done. And the same with color. We had different monitors. So sometimes we'd be like, wait, are those flowers blue? Nah, they look green to me on here. Trying to find the middle spot on everything. And then even with our editors, there was times that we had to sometimes we would get tested and actually go because it's just too hard because they're in LA. But for the most part we edited remotely, and I would be like, man, did a black flag get did one of our flags get into the frame? And then our editor would be like, oh no, that's a glare, and she'll just turn it and then it's just it was just challenging. You're used to being around people, and we had to do this as everyone else remotely. And I guess we're just evolving as filmmakers because just art doesn't stop. You just got to find a way.
Yeah,
that's right. And so what do we have to look forward to as far as upcoming projects from you guys? I can't wait.
Well, I'm writing something, still in the process, and it's a little comedy TV series, so I'm going to write that pilot and get that going. Kelley has a couple projects with her writing partner, but you can speak on that, Kelley.
Yeah. So Dion and I have a project that's already out in the ether going around called Fuck You, Jack. Am I allowed to cuss on here? F you, Jack. It's a comedy. It's starring Dion. It's hilarious. It's actually the project that we were first talking about with that Netflix thing when we first met. So it's come to fruition. So it's out doing its thing right now. So we're that's likely to be the next project. Then we got some other projects that we've already started writing and moving on to. So there's a lot of things that are coming down the pipe.
I'm looking forward to all of that. You guys are so inspiring. I hope you fully understand
how
Ellen. You are as women of color, as filmmakers, as just Janes of all trades. I mean, my God, I look forward to everything else that's coming your way.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for letting me share all this. Great.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time with us. We really appreciate it. And blackfilm.com, we what you guys do really, really matters for us.
Yes.
Thank you.